You know, I have a thing for Abraham Lincoln. Yes, you heard me correctly. And it all started with my passion for reading. And if you were to say this to the second graders at the International School of Hilversum in Miss Bolton's class, she would understand, and so would the children, because at the moment, they're studying about heroes. They're talking about who is your hero, and what are the characteristics of heroes, and what makes a hero. And you know, I did the same thing when I was their age. I had to write and do a little speech about my hero. And so I went to my library at my school, and I went to the library and I chose the thinnest book with the largest print that I could find. You see, I didn't think that I was a very good reader when I compared myself to my other friends. I felt that I was a bit behind or a bit slower. But funny enough, by reading that little thin book, I became fascinated with Abraham Lincoln. And that sent me back to the library and sent me back for more detailed books about his life. And learning about his morality and what he speaks for, that led me further in life. But I didn't realize what was happening to me was I was developing my reading capabilities and my reading skills. And I was developing my empathy, and I was starting my journey to world citizen. So jump ahead a few years, and I'm a teenager, and I'm a budding romantic. So what was I reading when I was in my teens? It's difficult for me to see, but what were some of you reading in your teens? For me, it was Danielle Steele, and anything in paperback and romantic I could get my hands on. And after that, later in my life, in my 20s, it was Patricia Cornwell and her strong female character, Dr. Kay Scarpetta. Long live the crime writers, am I right? So, did Patricia Cornwell perhaps give me a bit of that keen sense I had as a young woman when I was walking through dark parking lots? Did that help me develop that skill? What else did I learn through my passion for reading? So fast forward a bit, and I'm in my late 20s, and my first child arrives. My mom always told me that reading bedtime stories to your children was the greatest gift you could give them. So what did I do? I packed my bag, and I put my son onto the bicycle, and off we went to the public library, to the Dutch public library. And I let him choose anything he wanted in the children's section. And for me, it felt as if I was taking a step back from my inner intellect. But if truth be told, it was doing just as much good for me as it was for my son. My Dutch wouldn't be half as good as it is today if it weren't for those children's stories. And you know, it really is amazing what you can learn about Holland and the Dutch culture through Jip and Janneke. But life can take us funny places. And my next journey in life was a little darker. In April of 2007, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And suddenly, I was reading medical information in both Dutch and English, and trying to comprehend just exactly what was happening to my body. At that moment, my world turned upside down, and it turned inside out. My passion for reading, it was gone, completely gone. I couldn't focus anymore. My mind was consumed. And perhaps it was grief, or perhaps it was worry, but no matter what you call it, it took away my favorite hobby. And if you can imagine life as a patient in a hospital, it calls for all the hobbies that you can find. So my sister came to visit, and with a little bit of encouragement from my sister, and probably a lot of pushing, I found reading again. I found children's stories again. I went to the bookstore, and I bought the new, hot off the presses, the last and final release of Harry Potter. And it's a dark one, that Harry Potter, that last one. But I'm a Halloween fan, and I loved it. And it brought my mind back. It helped me with some coping that I was doing. It helped me find my way back. It helped stop my world from spinning. And it took me away into my imagination. It was and is my favorite form of escapism. You see, I love the smell of books. I love libraries. I love bookstores. I love secondhand bookshops. I love garage sales with books. I love e-readers and magazines and newspapers, and even newspapers with opposing opinions. I love audiobooks and children's stories, and above all, I love comic books. Reading has opened the world to me, and it's helped me through some really dark times. And this would be my message to you today and to the students of my school. Did I tell you I'm one of the librarians at the International School of Hilversum? Our library is welcome to everyone, and I feel like it's the heart of our school. Recently, I had a really principled student who came to me because she had damaged a book. She returned it to me, and she was really worried, and she wanted to pay for it. But I took it from her, and I did have her pay for it. It had been in an encounter in her school bag with her lunch. It smelled so yummy. Pesto. Pesto and books. Food and books are two of my favorite hobbies. You know, that book, it did have to come out of the collection and be replaced, but I was one happy librarian. The books in my school are being read. Thank you.